G'day reefers, I'm Cam the Fish Guy. Welcome to Gallery Aquatica TV. Water flow in a reef aquarium is particularly important. The Gallery Aquatica display tank has got a number of wave makers which help to circulate the water in this tank, and two of them are Gyre 350s. Now, Gyre style wave makers do require regular servicing, and today we're going to show you exactly how we service the Gyres at Gallery Aquatica. You can really see how much these two Gyres require a service. They're covered in coralline algae. They've also got some bubble algae on them, and the more things growing on your Gyre, the less water they're going to pump. And when we open them up and have a look at the rotors, you'll also see bacterial slime on the rotors slowing down the water flow. So we're going to start today by taking out one of these pumps, and then we'll show you exactly how we service this Gyre. First thing I've done is I've disconnected the pump from the controller, and I'm just going to pull off all of these trochus and put them somewhere safe. Sometimes when you leave trochus upside down, they can't right themselves, so just want to make sure that they're all safe. Anyway, I'm going to grab the magnet with my dry hand. If it comes off, right, I'm going to leave it there. Alright, I'll take the pump out. Now let's take it to a bench and give it a clean. So this is what we're going to use for cleaning our Gyre. We've got a few different things. We've got 4 litres of RO water that we're going to mix in with half a packet of pump plunge. Now this is a citric acid wash which will allow us to help to remove the coralline algae on the pump. We've also got a little bit extra water that I'm going to use to rinse in a sec, and a couple of different brushes. Now the way I like to start with the Gyres is basically breaking it down and putting it in our citric acid wash or pump plunge. So I'll start by adding half a pack of the pump plunge. I'll give that a sec to dissolve. Give it a bit of a stir. Now, one of the important aspects of this is that we don't use vinegar. The pump plunge is particularly good for aquarium products. It doesn't cause damage to the delicate parts of the pumps. So we've got this starting to mix in. I'm just going to break it down. I'm going to remove the covers and chuck them in. 1, 2. I'm going to take off the cages, and you can see the rotors are actually stuck inside. They come straight off. So that's a big hint that we need to clean this Gyre. All right. So I've removed that. You can see the bacterial slime in here. I'm going to chuck it in the first cage. So that was the red side. With this model, these are actually color coded, so it's easy to put them back. On some of the earlier models that aren't color coded, I typically do one side then the other so that you don't get them mixed up. Anyway, second cage in, second row in, and now I'm going to put the whole pump into the pump plunge, and we're now going to give it 30 minutes for the citric acid to start working on our coralline algae. So it's been about half an hour, and I've taken it out once or twice and given it a little bit of a once over with a toothbrush, and it's almost at a point that I'm happy with it. Now you can, of course, if you want it perfect, leave your pump in the pump plunge for longer, but given the fact we're filming a video on this, I didn't want to leave it too long. But if you left it overnight, pretty much everything would fall off and be spotless. But that's pretty much where I'm at with where I want it to be. You can see the vast majority of the coralline has come off. And before we put the cages and the rotors back on, I just want to show you something else that's important to do with your Gyre, and that is to remove the impeller to service it. Now, there are slightly different ways that you remove them depending on the type of Gyre style wave maker that you've got. But with this model, you pretty much just push through from this side, on the green side, pushing the red side out, and that's not supposed to happen. Okay, put that back on like so. Now this impeller is probably getting close to needing to be replaced. The fact that that top bit came off does indicate that it's certainly getting there, but for now I'm going to put it back on, and then I'm going to clean the inside of the pump where the impeller sits. So we've removed our impeller, and I'm just going to take the toothbrush and just go over the inside of the pump. They don't normally get too dirty, but you do get a little bit of bacterial slime in there. So I've cleaned that out. I'm just going to put the impeller back in, push it in all the way, and now we're ready to put the clean rotors back on. So now what I'm going to do is go over the rotors with the toothbrush, and I find it's mainly bacteria which accumulates in the rotors of your Gyre style pumps, and it does make a big difference to the flow. So cleaning the rotors is one of the most important parts of servicing your Gyre. Now I'm going to put this one back in. Again, it's color coded, green to green, so very easy. Goes like so, and this is its cage. So its cage, we've given it a little bit of a clean as well, just with the toothbrush. It's looking significantly better than it was before. So I put it back on, and the other rotor. So again, with the toothbrush, just giving it a bit of a rinse as we go. This is of course just normal RO water. No citric acid in here, and now we'll put our red side back on and its cage. Now one of the important things to remember before you put your Gyre back in the tank is just to ensure that the rotors are facing the right direction. It's very easy to accidentally have them facing the wrong way and put water out of your tank when you first turn your Gyre back on. Although before we do that, we've also got our visors that we're going to clean and put on, so I'll do that now. So a point that I should probably make is that you do need to ensure that the cages go on the correct sides, and I actually just had them around the wrong way. So I've swapped them over now, and the way I typically remember is that this side with the ridges on the solid section goes on the bottom, and this is going to be the angle that we need so that water shoots just underneath the water surface. Now we've got our visors that probably could do with a little bit more of a clean in the pump plunge, and these are going to go on like so. It's not right. I would always struggle with this. Okay. I do find sometimes these visors are a little bit difficult to get in position, and they are a little bit inclined to come off, but you can see how much coralline algae they stop from growing on the actual cages, so they're definitely a good thing. But anyway, there's our Gyre, and it's ready to go back in the tank. Alright, so I'm going to put it straight into the tank like so, fix that cage up. Always they come off. Okay. And now I'm going to plug it in. Okay, so that's excellent. That's exactly what I want. It started first time, and if you don't give it a good clean, or if it's particularly dirty, often they take a little while to actually start. You might need a kickstart and they don't come on perfectly like this. But I can feel it's putting out a really good flow, and it started straight away. I'm happy with the angle. And let's have a look at it, how it compares to the one that we didn't clean. So you can really see the difference. Now, this is the guy that we've cleaned, and there's a few little spots of coralline algae. You'll probably find that they will fall off. They've been softened by the pump plunge, and tomorrow or the next day, you'll probably find this will be totally clean. If we had more time, I definitely would have given it a longer period in the pump plunge, and that way you'd be able to bring it back to basically as good as brand new. But compared to the Gyre that we haven't cleaned, it's still got the bubble algae and all that coralline. This one is definitely in much better condition, and the Gyres are probably a little bit more involved when it comes to the maintenance, but if you do maintain them more regularly, you'll have a significantly longer lifespan out of these awesome wave makers. That's it for today's episode of Gallery Aquatica TV. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Cam the Fish Guy. Happy reefing! That's it for this week's episode of Gallery Aquatica TV. Don't forget to like and comment on all our videos and subscribe to our channel. Stay tuned to Gallery Aquatica TV for more exciting episodes to come. I'm Cam the Fish Guy. Happy reefing!